Welcome to the True Guy Globe. Brief updates. Subscribe and press the bell icon for updates. Alright, let's get after it. Headlines tell a story of exclusion. Doors slamming shut, countries sending people home. But what happens when the dust settles? The void left behind isn't just a missing worker, it's a missing heart. Filipinos are known for skill, dedication, and compassion. When nations push them out, they lose more than labor, they lose heart. Let's start with Kuwait. After reports of abuse, the Philippines imposed a deployment ban. Kuwait retaliated by suspending new visas for Filipinos. Suddenly, Kuwaiti families and businesses were left scrambling. Service quality dropped, and the myth of easy replacement collapsed. They initiated talks, agreed to stricter labor protections, and created safer recruitment channels. It's clear, Kuwait can't function as effectively without Filipinos. The lesson? Respect and protection are non-negotiable if you want the best. Saudi Arabia, once a powerhouse that sent thousands of Filipinos home for Saudization, faced stalled mega projects and skills gaps. The kingdom soon realized Filipino workers were essential to bridge the gap and train the next generation. Lesson learned: partnership, not replacement, is the way forward. Taiwan's political tensions once froze labor flows, slowing factories and straining families. Business leaders pushed back, insisting Filipinos were too valuable to lose. Taiwan responded, raising quotas, streamlining hiring, and boosting salaries. Now, Filipino skill and heart are in higher demand than ever. Libya's case was war, not policy. As conflict erupted, Filipinos, doctors, engineers, oil technicians were evacuated for safety. The country was left in chaos, essential services crippled. Now, as Libya rebuilds, they face a critical shortage of skilled professionals. Libyan leaders remember the resilience and quality of Filipino workers. They're reaching out, offering premium salaries and safety assurances to bring them back. When a nation needs to rebuild, one of the first calls it makes is to the Philippines. Israel's strict visa policies clashed with a growing need for caregivers. Filipino caregivers became essential, providing not just care, but genuine warmth, becoming family. Families advocated fiercely, protesting deportations and demanding stability. The government eased restrictions, creating special visa tracks and signing agreements with the Philippines. Now, Filipino caregivers have longer-term security and better protections. Israel learned true security for its people comes from compassionate care. The nation shifted from control to welcome, recognizing the irreplaceable value of Filipino hands. Sometimes, the best protection is a trusted heart. Japan, long resistant to foreign labor, hit a demographic wall, an aging population and shrinking workforce. Labor shortages threatened industries from construction to elder care. The government realized foreign workers were a necessity, not an option. Filipinos, admired for their work ethic and adaptability, topped the list. Japan launched the Specified Skilled Worker Program, with the Philippines as a key partner. Thousands of Filipinos are now being recruited, with language training and support for integration. Japan learned its future depends on opening doors to those it once kept at arm's length. Survival means embracing change and Filipino talent. Qatar's World Cup boom brought in thousands of Filipinos, but labor practices drew global criticism. After the event, Qatar realized it needed Filipino skills for long-term operations, not just construction. Letting that talent go was a mistake. Facing both necessity and reputation, Qatar reformed labor laws, dismantled the kafala system, and introduced a minimum wage. Now, they're actively recruiting Filipinos for hospitality, healthcare, and more. The lesson: you can build stadiums, but it's people with heart who make a nation thrive. Qatar learned that reform is the price of attracting the best. Bahrain tried to prioritize local employment, cutting expat numbers, including Filipinos. Employers soon realized the loss. Service quality dropped, skills gaps appeared, and businesses suffered. The private sector pushed back, specifically requesting Filipinos for their reliability and positive attitude. The government eased restrictions, showing a clear preference for Filipino workers in key sectors. Bahrain learned that a successful economy needs both local talent and the best global expertise. For them, the best often means Filipino. Quality of service is paramount, and Filipinos deliver. South Korea's strict employment permit system kept Filipino worker numbers low, despite high demand. But with a shrinking workforce, the system began to stifle growth. Now, South Korea is increasing quotas and expanding industries for foreign labor. Economic survival means welcoming Filipino talent. The U.S. once welcomed Filipinos in healthcare, but stricter immigration rules shut many out. The pandemic exposed a massive nursing shortage. Now, the U.S. is expediting visas and hiring Filipino nurses again. The health of a nation depends on those who care for it. Canada, long immigrant-friendly, sometimes slowed Filipino migration with policy freezes and backlogs. But with a low population and aging workforce, the economy felt the strain. Businesses and healthcare suffered. The government realized bureaucratic delays were undermining their own strategy. Now, Canada is investing billions to speed up processing, launching new streams for high-demand jobs, and prioritizing Filipino applicants. Employers' demand for Filipinos never waned. Canada's lesson: when your future depends on welcoming the world, you can't afford to put up barriers. Filipinos are key to building the nation's future. Efficiency and openness are now the priority. Italy, with deep ties to the Philippines, tightened policies during economic downturns, pushing many Filipinos out. Now, as Italy recovers and its population ages, labor shortages in caregiving and hospitality are critical. Italian families value the loyalty and compassion of Filipino workers. The government is reopening migration channels, specifically allocating slots for Filipinos. They're offering jobs and protections, recognizing Filipinos' unique contribution. Italy learned, in a country built on family, those who care for families are essential. The Filipino community is now seen as integral to Italy's future. The UAE, built by expatriate talent, saw thousands of Filipinos leave during economic downturns. The result? Service quality dropped, and the Dubai experience suffered. Businesses realized the unique value Filipinos brought: English proficiency, customer focus, technical skill. The cost of replacing them was high, and results were often worse. As the economy rebounds, demand for Filipinos has exploded. Recruitment agencies are flooded with requests. The UAE learned in a service economy, your people are your product. Letting the best walk out the door was a costly mistake. Now, they're working to bring Filipinos back. Hong Kong, long reliant on Filipino domestic helpers, faced turmoil. Political unrest and strict pandemic policies drove many away. The loss created a crisis. Families struggled, professionals considered leaving jobs, and the city's economy felt the ripple. The government realized stability at home was key to productivity at work. Now, Hong Kong is streamlining visas and lifting restrictions to lure Filipinos back. Public discourse acknowledges their immense contribution. Hong Kong learned, you can't be a world-class city without a support system for families. The health of the city depends on the hands that care for it. Singapore, known for careful planning, tightened foreign worker policies to protect local jobs. But companies soon reported talent shortages, project delays, and risks to foreign investment. The government saw the data. Filipinos were indispensable across sectors, from construction to healthcare. Singapore is now easing restrictions, increasing quotas, and offering more permanent pathways for skilled workers. Filipinos are being actively recruited as part of the long-term prosperity plan. The lesson: to stay on top, you need the best talent, wherever it comes from. Singapore is recalibrating for a future built on global expertise. 15 countries, 15 stories. One lesson: when you remove someone who brings not just skill but heart, the effects are lasting. The world is learning. A Filipino worker is an asset you can't afford to lose. Like, subscribe, and share. Let's keep the conversation going.